Hey, this is Sid Owsley from Determination Determines Destination podcast, where we share stories of what I call the three D's to success: determination, determines destination. People telling their stories, how to use the three D's to success to overcome obstacles and challenges in their life. And today, I have with me Miss Kerri Shepard. Kerri
I
is
said,
Hi, Kerri. It's great to have you today.
thank you.
Kerri is a teacher, speaker, mentor, and freedom coach whose passion is helping people identify where they are stuck and the work needed to cross over into their destiny so they can
Yes.
live the life they were created to live. Her heart is to help others connect with God in all areas of life, including business and family. Kerri is a licensed and ordained minister with over 25 years experience in ministry. Welcome, Kerri. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you, Sid. I'm so pleased to be here. Appreciate it.
It's great having you. And tell us how you use what I call the three D's to success: determination determines destination, to overcome obstacles and challenges in your life, and to also help the people that you minister to.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I've been thinking about your three D's to success, Sid. And, as I pondered it, what I really felt for me is that the key to the three D's is what I have determined. Determination, determining destination, but what have I determined? And so as I was pondering, getting ready for the podcast, I thought, really life is a series of crossroads.
Mm.
And often at the crossroads, we are dealing with fear and indecision, maybe some confusion. We feel stuck. We have to make a decision. And for me, in those moments of decision, choosing something besides fear. And so I felt like I probably have a couple stories I could share with you today that would best illustrate how what I've determined a different destination than the one I was headed for. So would that be all right?
Oh, that'd be great. Share some stories.
All right. Well, good. Well, back in 2002, you mentioned I have over 25 years in ministry experience, and I do in various capacities: youth ministry, associate pastoring, lots of different things. But in a break there, I had my children, and so back in 2002, I had two toddlers at home, two preschoolers, and was looking. I have kind of an entrepreneur bent to myself, and like I'm sure many of your listeners. But I also had some health challenges going on in our family, and we moved to Texas. And anything about Texas, God bless Texas, but the air quality here not so great. And so the allergy and asthma and all these different, things that they're part of low air quality became really affecting us. And so I was really searching not only for a job, but I was searching for some how to shift. I had a 2-year-old that was pretty sick. And so in that, as I was crying out to the Lord, I remember saying, Lord, there's got to be something on this earth. I was praying. I was even seeing miracles. Yeah, God is a miracle working God.
Yeah.
But there were places we weren't sustaining breakthrough. And so I was in the shower one morning and I just prayed, Lord, there's something on this earth that would help my son. And I just asked you to show me what it is. And within a few weeks, I was introduced to some science and different things. And I knew the Lord was answering my prayer. And God is so good to do that. But here came the next crossroads. So I find this great science and patent protected, this great product. I'm introduced to network marketing. I love people. I love sharing. I thought, hey, this is a great fit. But guess what? You don't just talk to people
Right.
There's a 600-pound telephone and you have to talk to people that you don't know. And this is where the crossroads hit me square in the face. So, I entered into a leadership program, a mentoring program, and my coach, who is totally worth his salt and his money, he began to talk to me about values. Well, I knew what values were, and I thought I knew what my personal values were. But as I began, he had me list, Kerri, what are your top 10 values? And so I spent some time working on, love and honesty and freedom and commitment. And then he had me work on what are the opposing values, or what are the values that oppose your values. And so what's the opposite? Well, I looked at love and I thought, well, the opposite for me of love would be fear. And I believe the Bible bears that out. The opposite of freedom would be bondage or being stuck. And so we did some work on that. And so I go back home and, it's dinner. And after dinner, it's time to call people. And that 600-pound phone. And I had put a sticky on the top of my computer, Sid, and it simply said love versus fear. And I'm like, okay, I love people. And I love the dream that I have to help my family, both in health, but in income. And so, okay, Lord, and I still could not call a single person. I thought, I'll just call them tomorrow when I know they're at work. I'll get their voicemail. Maybe they'll call me back. And, in that moment, the Lord just confronted me. And I said, Lord, I thought values, was going to be my key. And he said, Kerri, you have to live your values. I'm like, Lord, what does that mean? And I heard the Lord say, and when I say heard him, what I mean is that still small voice in your heart. And it could sound like you, but it's true. And I felt like I heard the Lord say to me, you don't have to call them, Kerri, but if you don't call them, you cannot say that you love them.
Right.
And that was the moment of truth for me. And I thought, you know what? I know I loved these people that I wanted to call who had challenges. And I knew between prayer and these different scientific discoveries, I knew that I could probably help them. And I knew that I loved them, and God knew that I loved them. And in that moment, that value and that truth was enough. And I picked up that phone and I met someone I hadn't met before, which was a person who knew how to live her value. When you live your value, it's not that you're not afraid. You just decide that fear is not your highest value. And it is amazing what you can do, which is really, the word there is overcoming, which is one of my highest values. And I believe it's one of God's core values. And I believe people were made by God to overcome. And what do we all have to overcome? Fear. And some of us, our fear is like traditional fear. It's like, you got sweaty palms and you're nervous, or you don't want to make yourself do something. But other people manifest fear by overcompensating or being arrogant or being super like, I can do this in my own strength in a way that's maybe not so healthy. But fear is fear. And the only thing that really displaces fear, I believe, is love. And God is love. And so really, Sid, that's my first story. It's just a crossroads. I guess I should tell you how the story ends. As I called people, determined to love, whether they loved me or not, and whether they understood my motivation or not, something really interesting happened. People respond when they know that you love them, and it's not about anything else but helping them from a pure place. People respond to that. And so my business exploded. And within several months, I went from making a couple hundred a month, what we call hobby income, to a full-time income, even exceeding my husband's income. And because I chose to live loving instead of in fear. And so that was really my determination to live my values did shift my destination. And I'm so thankful for it.
That's a great story. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah.
You came from a place of love, and you answered the call because you heard the call, and at first you weren't trying to listen to that call at first.
No. Yeah, you can hear the call, but you're right, Sid. You have to answer the call. And it really is God's kindness to allow those difficult places, those stuck places. Otherwise, how would you ever meet the person he created? I mean, in Genesis 1, it says he blessed us to be fruitful, multiply, and subdue. And the first thing you have to subdue with God is your own fear. Yeah. You're not going to subdue anything else. And fear, isn't it Winston Churchill that said the only thing to fear is fear itself? It's really true. And you can exchange that for a fear of the Lord, which is the beginning of wisdom. And who doesn't want wisdom? Am I right? So
That's right. That's right. Might have been Roosevelt. I'm trying to remember. You got me thinking now.
one of those great men.
Yeah, one of those. And it was from that particular era. With whoever it was from that particular era, like you said.
Yeah. It's good. It is good. Yeah.
So tell us, you said you have some more stories to share. I love hearing stories.
I know stories, it's like they're easy to remember, the pearl of truth, because you can kind of track the story. So I would say a second crossroad that I feel like I have crossroads all the time, but these are momentous life crossroads. Another crossroad I had was years ago. I was dealing with a destructive personal habit. I mean, can you think of one, everyone listening? Can you think of something in your life that you really have tried to shift? And maybe it's something you need to start doing. Maybe it's something you want to stop doing. But it was destructive to me. And honestly, I had a lot of guilt about it, some shame. I felt condemned personally. And it really bothered me. And so I had sort of organized my life. It felt like my half-time job was trying to figure out how to get free from this personal destructive habit. And so I talked to my friends about it. I prayed about it. I read books about it. And I remember one day, just in my time with the Lord, which is, for me, I'm a morning person. I'm no good after 8 p.m. at night, really. But I'm an early riser, and except on Saturdays. And so I was up with the Lord praying and talking, before everybody else in the world wakes up and I'm distracted by, what's going on. And I was asking the Lord, and I felt like the Lord said, showed me a picture, and it was of a mountain. And we were talking about this habit and what else I needed to do to break free. And, I knew that God, the Bible says where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. So I knew freedom connects to the Lord, right? Yeah. And so I was asking him about it, and he showed me this mountain. And I'm like, Lord, what is this mountain? And the Lord said, this is the mountain of getting free. And I'm like, oh, okay. But then the Lord said some things that really surprised me. And he said, Kerri, there's no end to this mountain. This mountain is not what you think it is. And I was like, what do you mean? How could getting free not be a good thing? And the Lord said, but the mountain of getting free is all about you. And it's all about you measuring freedom, you trying to figure out freedom. And Kerri, this mountain doesn't have so much to do with me. And he said, in this picture, I'm a mountain climber, and I have a backpack, and in the backpack's a flag. And I knew the minute I get to the top of that mountain and I feel like I'm free, I'm going to put my flag on the top of that mountain. I've conquered freedom. And the Lord says, there's no end to this mountain. This mountain is actually frustrating you. And I didn't know what to say to that. And I felt like the Lord panned my vision over to the side and showed me a second mountain. I said, Lord, what is that mountain? And he said, Kerri, that's the mountain of knowing God, of knowing me. I'm like, Lord, I thought the mountain I was on was the mountain of knowing God. And he said, no, it's not. He said, but if you'll get off this mountain where your life goal is to get free, to prove something, and you'll shift over to this mountain of knowing me, he said, you will find freedom. For where I am, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. There's emancipation, there's freedom. If you'll set your face like flint to know me, I will fulfill your desires. Well, I did exactly what he was inviting me. I turned from the mountain of knowing God, really, to use my language, I repented, or I changed my mind. I don't want to be about that. If that isn't going, the Lord knew I was calling it get free, but what I really in my heart wanted was the freedom that he described. And so I said, Lord, I don't know how to climb that mountain either, but you do. It's funny in the Bible, when Jesus showed up to talk to his disciples, when he rose again, he showed up, and Thomas, or somewhere in there, I may be having the wrong verse, but the idea, he had a conversation with Thomas. Thomas, we call him Doubting Thomas, but I think in the end he sort of redeemed himself. But Jesus had said to his disciples, that they could follow him. And Thomas is like, well, where are you going? What? We don't know the way. How are we going to come? And Jesus said, no, I am the way. And so I like to say that to myself when I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going, but I know the way because I know Jesus and he is the way. Mm-hmm. And that just takes the pressure off of trying to figure your life out on your own. You know, I believe the Lord will even frustrate that because this life is about something higher than figuring it out on my own. So the Lord showed me the mountain of knowing God, and I just said, Lord, I don't know how to climb that mountain either. But in my heart, I'm determining to shift my destination. I'm determining right here to know you. That's my determination. And it did shift my destination because I'll tell you, I did get free. But in God, a lot of your freedom you see in the rearview mirror because you're not pursuing that. You're pursuing his face. You're pursuing knowing him. You're pursuing what is he about? What is he after? What does he want? It's all good. We didn't say it was easy, but it's all good. And I turned around as I climbed that mountain over the next several months and years and realized in the rearview mirror, oh my gosh, where did that habit go? And I know where it went. It got displaced by something else that God gave me. And so just like love and fear cannot coexist, it's like light and darkness. When you turn on the light, the darkness is not. Fear and love are the same way. And now I believe that knowing God and being with him where he is in freedom is how you turn the bondage out of doors. So that was another huge crossroads for me. And, freedom and other great things, we can't let them be the key. I believe the key is knowing the creator of those things and knowing the one that put overcoming in you, but it has to be connected to him. So that's my second story, Sid.
All right. You keep mentioning a term, the crossroads.
Yes.
And many times when we arrive at crossroads in our life, we don't want to deal with those crossroads.
Right.
But it's at the crossroads where the spiritual growth and development happens.
Absolutely.
The stories you're telling shows that.
Yes. Yeah. And, if we don't choose the crossroads with the Lord, what we're going to choose is go around the mountain again. Mm-hmm. And the Lord will let us go around the mountain because I believe he's a gentleman and he won't take what you're not freely offering. Mm-hmm. The human will is precious, and I believe it's precious to the Lord. Yeah. And he'll let us choose our own way, but it won't ever satisfy. And so he'll let us be frustrated again. He'll let us go around that mountain again. But when I'm at a crossroads, as best I can, I remember, Lord, I choose you. And I typically don't know all of what that looks like, but I'll just begin to even say out loud, Lord, I choose you. I choose you. Show me your way. You are the way. Reveal it to me. And I believe he is faithful. He knows how to get our attention. Yeah. He really does. He knows how to speak in a way that you will recognize. The big thing for us is to say to the Lord, I want to hear you. And as a matter of fact, I'm super passionate about people knowing God, as you can tell, but also being able to hear him. And when I say hear, all of your senses, ultimately, I believe the Bible says that we were fearfully and wonderfully made by the Lord in Psalm 139. And I believe he fearfully and wonderfully made your ears, your eyes, your sense of smell, taste. He made all of you to recognize him. And so as we kind of set our heart, as we determine, I want to know God, and I'm going to turn away from these other things that I have been looking to bring me dreams and life and fulfillment, he'll answer that prayer. And so I have on my website, which you can see there on the screen, there's a free ebook that you can download. And we'll email it to you. And it essentially, it's called Unclogging Your Ears to Hear God Speak. because there are a lot of things that clog our ability to hear him. And so it's it's 9 pages. It's a short book. And it just gives some understanding, and then it activates you with a prayer to come out of agreement from anything that has clogged your ears and eyes to be able to hear him. And there is nothing like hearing God. And so I just encourage you you can go to my website, you can click on that, just scroll down on the homepage, put your email in and download that book. And I'd love to know what you think. You can respond, reply, send me an email, Kerri@kerrishepard.com. And or you can sign up for mentoring on my website. I actively see people of all ages, teens on up, to help them. Because as a mentor, my job is to love you and listen to you while I'm listening to the Lord, and then help facilitate a conversation between you and him. And he knows exactly how to do that. And really, our job is to show up. So I just encourage you, if any of what I'm talking about is sort of kicking on the inside of you, to go to my website, check out the free book, the ebook, check out my mentoring services. As a matter of fact, there's a big button on there that says free consultation. And if you want to click on there, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation. I'm happy to listen. I'll pray with you. I'll ask the Lord to help show you what is the fear or the barrier for you to really overcome, and to come into a place of fulfillment and satisfaction and freedom. And so I would love to talk to you. So you have that option of a free 30-minute consultation.
That is great, Kerri. That's such a great offer. And I hope I'm sure that people will take you up on that offer, get the free ebook and the consultation.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Tell us this last story that you have. You're talking great stories here.
Oh, the last story. One more story. So I made a jump a few years ago to essentially do what I'm doing now. And I had been on staff at a church. I've been on staff at 2 different churches for extended periods of time, serving in different capacities. And as I was serving at this last church, these are dear friends of mine. I think we were at that church about 15 years, and loved every minute of that. But as my time was winding to a close, I really felt like the Lord saying, Kerri, I want you to come outside the church walls, and I want you to be a voice that I can speak through in the business place, which I love the marketplace. I love business. I still have the business that I began in 2002 and love that. I love seeing people get healthy through prayer, through strategic supplementation. And if you're interested in that, you can, hit me up on my website as well. But my greater passion is to see people know God, hear God, and the spiritual and the soul health that I believe is your inheritance. And that's what Jesus died to give you. And so a few years back, as I was on a church staff position, I knew the Lord was saying, would you come out into the business world, outside the church, into the city, into the marketplace, and talk with people and share your story, share our story, Kerri. And so that's what I did, Sid. My husband and I organized this Kerri Shepard Ministries, and essentially I write. There's some products on my website as well. I'm super passionate about seeing families reconciled, parents and children reconciled. I have some material on my website around what's called kingdom family. God has a way in marriage. And God has a way in raising children and teens and young adults. He already has a way. And so in marriage, when I sit down with married couples, what I like to say is, we all think I have the way, my way, but God already has a way. And really the true fulfillment, the true satisfaction in life is knowing the way. And so my husband and I organized this 501c3 around helping people know God experientially for themselves, and to bring the Lord into the family, bring the Lord into the business, bring the Lord into any sector of your life. And he so desires to speak and to show you mysteries and to bring fulfillment and solve problems. Even back when I was in the business world, I remember one time I was in the business world, and in terms of that's all I was doing, and working in this. I started out at network marketing, but then I realized really my business was me. I was selling my service and how I could serve people. And so I was standing in the post office line, and I didn't know these people in front of me and behind me. I didn't know what their needs were, but the Lord's like, "Hey, Kerri, you're in line. Why don't you ask me what I'm doing?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." And the two questions I love to ask the Lord, I learned these from Becky Castle, who's my mentor. I ask these questions all the time. "Lord, where are you and what are you doing?" I know what I'm doing, but Lord, where are you and what are you doing? Because that's the key, right? And so he's like, "Would you just pray? This woman in front of you," and I don't even remember. There's so many people and so many, "Hey, can I pray for you? Hey, can I encourage you?" I don't even remember that day. But I knew it wasn't about the products I had to sell. It was about praying for, I think it was a distraught mom and a little boy, and he was a little off the chain. And another time I sat down with a couple to, I thought, to go over some strategic supplements. She had a lot of health issues. And, but I stopped and asked, "Lord, where are you and what are you doing in this moment?" And she had the weight of the world on her shoulders. And so we spent our time just praying. I can't even remember if she bought a supplement. That was beside the point. The point is the Lord knows what people need. He has a way. And as I take care of what's important to him, he takes care of what's important to me. And so my husband and I, 2.5 years ago, organized KerriShepard.com and the different services I do, writing, teaching, speaking, essentially serving people, helping them know God and helping them get to know him, learn to walk with him, flow with him, and live a life of fulfillment, overcoming fear and enjoying intimacy with the Lord. So
that is great. That is great.
Yeah. Thank you.
That story you tell is so important of helping people with their needs.
Yes.
And once that happens, everything else that you want will happen.
Yes. Yeah. The Bible says, "Seek first the King and his kingdom and his righteousness, and everything else will be added to you." That's true. I could have never, through my own efforts, come into the life of fulfillment that I have, and fulfillment in family, in marriage, in finances, in business. I feel like I'm doing what I'm doing today because I overcame fear and I overcame some lies. I'll tell a quick story. Do I have time for a quick story, Sid?
Yeah, time.
Okay. I was told as a child that I was a good liar. Children experiment with lying. And later on in life, I had to go back and ask the Lord what the truth was. And he said, "You're not a good liar. You're a truth teller." And that's really what I do today is I tell people the truth as a mentor. I receive truth from the Lord and pass it on. And just enjoy living the life that God provided. So would appreciate coming to KerriShepard.com if any of this is appealing to you, and click on the link for a free consultation.
Yes, I'm sure people will take you up on that, Kerri. What you're providing is a great service through your ministry. I can tell that you're very passionate about it, very passionate about helping people. And plug it once again. Just let everybody know how to get in contact with you. Let everybody know about your service as we get ready to wrap up.
Yeah. So at KerriShepard.com, you'll see there's you can fill out a form to have me come speak at your event. There's a free 30-minute consultation. If you're like, "Hey, I just need 30 minutes to have someone listen and help me and see if I'd be a good fit as a mentor for you. There's some products, a free ebook on learning how to unclog your ears to hear God speak to you personally. There's some other products about kingdom family and marriage and raising children. So feel free to come to my website and have a conversation.
All right, everybody check out KerriShepard.com. This is Sid Owsley from the Determination Determines Destination podcast, where we share stories of people using what I call the 3 Ds to success. Determination determines destination to overcome obstacles and challenges in their life. And also check out SidOwsley.com, where you can receive a free gift about aligning your values with your goals. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The 3 Ds to Success, where you can see more stories of people using determination determines destination to overcome obstacles and challenges in your life. Today, we've had Kerri Shepard on. It's been great having you, Kerri. Thank you for being on.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks so much, Sid.
All right, everyone. Create a great day. I'm Sid Owsley. I'm out.